All right, today's topic sits right at the intersection of economy, immigration, and money, and honestly, it has exploded like a bomb. Because on one side, we're seeing claims all over social media that the diversity visa, the green card lottery, has been suspended indefinitely. And on the other side, there's this completely different idea being discussed. Fine, then here's another door, a $5 million gold card. And when you put these two things next to each other, one question immediately lights up in people's minds. Has U.S. immigration officially turned into a pay-to-enter system? Let's start with the suspended issue first. Their posts spreading incredibly fast, and the language they use is very deliberate. The moment you hear indefinitely suspended, panic kicks in. People stop thinking rationally. But with topics like this, the most important thing is separating confirmed information from viral claims. Because when you actually look at official communications, you can see that updates related to the diversity visa program are still being published. There are ongoing notices, clarifications, and eligibility updates tied to upcoming cycles. In other words, there is no clear official statement saying the program has been permanently shut down, so calling it definitely canceled is a stretch at best. The healthier framing is this. There are viral claims saying the DV lottery is suspended, while official channels continue to publish updates. So instead of panic, let's talk about what's really happening. But here's the more interesting part, why this rumor went viral so fast, and the answer is economic. People already feel this pressure building. Life is more expensive, opportunities feel narrower, immigration feels harder. So when someone hears the lottery is gone, it hits a nerve. And then, right on top of that comes the idea of a gold card. Suddenly the narrative becomes sharp and emotional. So the middle class is locked out and the rich get a premium lane? Now, whether that's fully true or not is a separate discussion, but that's how people are experiencing this news emotionally. So let's talk about the gold card idea itself. This is where things get genuinely controversial. What's being discussed is a potential $5 million payment-based residency path, possibly replacing or reshaping existing investor visa structures. Essentially, a green card, but upgraded, and possibly even a pathway to citizenship. From an economic perspective, this opens a massive debate. On paper, it sounds simple. $5 million times a certain number of people equals a huge inflow of capital. Some people immediately jump to the conclusion this could help reduce deficits, fund infrastructure, stabilize budgets. Mathematically, that sounds attractive, but reality is never that clean. Because selling access isn't just about collecting money. Who's coming? Where is the money coming from? How is it vetted? What does background checks work? What does enforcement look like? These programs are operationally complex and politically sensitive. Then there's the market impact. Imagine a large influx of ultra-wealthy individuals into cities like New York, Miami, or Los Angeles. These are already some of the most expensive housing markets in the world. Would prices rise even more? Would rent pressure increase? Almost certainly. Luxury consumption would grow, high-end services would expand, but affordability for the average resident could shrink further. So yes, there's economic activity, but it's not evenly distributed. And then comes the signal effect. A gold card isn't just a visa idea, it's a message to the world. It says, capital is welcome, premium capital especially. And that matters, because globally, many countries already run similar programs. When the U.S. even discusses something like this, it shifts the global conversation. It reinforces the idea that mobility is increasingly tied to financial power. But the strongest reactions aren't economic, they're emotional. Because the diversity visa represents something symbolic. It represents chance. It represents access without wealth. It represents the idea that you don't have to be rich, just lucky. And the gold card represents the opposite, access by purchase. That's why some people see it as fundamentally conflicting with the spirit of the American dream. Others argue the opposite. Let capital in, let investors build, let money create jobs. Both sides have logic, but they're coming from very different value systems. Now, Is it a coincidence that these two conversations are happening at the same time? I don't think so. Now let's zoom out. Why would the US even consider something like this? Because immigration has always been an economic lever. Governments want talent, they want investment, they want demographic balance. But which priority dominates changes over time. Sometimes it's skills, sometimes it's capital. The gold card idea clearly leans toward capital. But that comes with risk. Money alone doesn't guarantee value creation. For value to exist, capital has to flow into productive areas, innovation, employment, real economic output. If it only flows into passive assets like real estate and luxury consumption, you get movement, not growth. And historically, investment-based visas have always carried controversy for that exact reason. Weak oversight leads to abuse. Strong oversight increases costs and slows the system. Now let's circle back to the DV lottery. Numerically, the program isn't massive, but symbolically, it's huge. It represents fairness, randomness, diversity. That's why even a rumor about its suspension spreads instantly across the world. So how do you close a video like this? I think the strongest ending isn't panic, it's perspective. Something like, there are claims circulating, official updates continue, but beyond the headlines, what we're really seeing is immigration being discussed as an economic filter. And then you leave the audience with a question. Is immigration a right, an opportunity, or a product that can be purchased? That question alone will ignite the comments. And here's the truth. The reason this topic performs so well is simple. Money affects everyone. The future worries everyone. Immigration is, at its core, a way people try to buy a better future, whether through education, work, relocation, or capital. Some buy a plane ticket. Some invest years of effort. Some invest millions. That's why this conversation isn't just political, it's psychological, it's economic, it's about class. And finally, it's smart to close with a calm disclaimer tone. This discussion is informational and analytical. Immigration and visa decisions should always be based on official sources and professional guidance. That protects credibility and prevents backlash. So in short, what we're seeing right now is this. U.S. immigration is once again being debated through an economic lens. While rumors swirl about chance-based pathways, premium pathways are being openly discussed. And together they create one powerful feeling for people watching from the outside. The rules might be changing. Are they actually changing? Time will tell. But one thing is certain, this conversation is only going to get bigger.